All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to MC Online TV, and we bring to you once again our most educative and captivating TV show known as the Personality Profile. Today we have a wonderful sister, and at the right time she will introduce herself to us. As you always know, we're going to delve deeper into her personal and professional life. Let me say that she is, in fact, her book title is I Am, not the I Am Not type. So today, relax and watch your favorite program. Before we commence, let me first appreciate the president of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, the person of Mrs. Perpetua Fori Ampofo. I think she's one of the shining lights of our nursing and midwifery profession in Ghana, and she has brought us far in a few years of service. Regards to her team, and let me make a special mention of our chairperson, the person of Mr. Alfred Adi of Central Region, who is doing marvelously well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our beautiful sister. So, my sister, you're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so your viewers are ready to hear you. Kindly introduce yourself to them.
All right. My name is Dede Adam Tetete. I am a nurse. In fact, I am a general nurse at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. A nurse with a passion, a nurse who believes in standard and with a high professional ethics. That is who I am.
Wow, thank you very much. Can you walk us through your childhood lives, how you started life?
Okay. I was born at Labadi in the Greater Accra region.
Okay.
Started school at Head First Preparatory School, then to Woso Home JHS. Then my SS school at Archbishop Potter Girls Secondary School. Then I started my nursing training at the NTC Second D before starting work as a professional nurse.
Okay. So growing up, can you tell us who you stayed with, your family relationship in a way?
I stayed with my parents, and at a point I also stayed with my aunties.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you mind mentioning their names?
Yes. They are all of blessed memory anyway.
Oh, okay.
My parents and my aunties, Auntie Shade, Auntie Tiche, and then my parents, Kingsley Tetadamte and Matilda Odwe. They are all of blessed memory.
Right. So if I heard you right, you stated that you work at the Ghana
Greater Accra Regional Hospital. Yes.
Will you tell us since when have you started working over there?
Okay, I started my work at the Western region, actually.
Oh.
When I completed the nursing training in 2003, I was posted to St. John of God Hospital for my rotation.
Okay.
And then I started work as a staff nurse in that facility before I took transfer to the then Ridge Hospital, now Greater Accra Regional Hospital, in 2006. I remember August. I started working there. I remember my first unit was the emergency. I was there before I was sent to the VIP ward. In the old Ridge, we had a whole unit called VIP where all cases come. It wasn't specific to one unit. Then I was also sent to the children's ward, and currently I am the in-service training coordinator of the hospital.
Wow. 2 decades of practice as a nurse.
By grace.
You might have achieved a lot. Anyway, we'll come back to that. So, personally, who are you? Apart from you working at, we'll come back to your profession.
Personally, I am a mother.
A mother of how many children?
I am a mother of three beautiful girls.
Whoa.
That's who I am.
Wow.
Nothing else, nothing. I am a mother.
Then you are the right person to tell us about motherhood. I don't know, let me ask, maybe my viewers will be interested. Mother of 3 beautiful ladies. How did the first daughter?
My first
And
girl is 16 years.
16 years.
And the second is 14. And the baby is 9 years.
Okay.
Yes.
So
So
can
I
you...
started my motherhood 16 years ago.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
So can you walk us through motherhood? Some of the challenges you met and some of the achievements also.
I think God gave me the best children. And my friends can attest to that. When you talk about calm children who listen to their mother, that's what I have. I hardly complain about my kids. Wherever I am, wherever I take them to, everybody applauds me because I have one of the disciplined children. I am a principled girl, and I love discipline. Yes, whilst I try to make you assertive, I also let you know that you have to obey authority. And so that's one thing that I have not had much challenges. I don't remember, maybe sickness. When they are sick, then it gets me off. But so far, so good.
But I believe you being a nurse, if they are sick, you know what you do actually.
Yes, but in knowing what to do, you might exaggerate.
Okay.
So I try my best to take them to the hospital whenever they are sick. I do that.
So what will you tell people who are health practitioners who find themselves in this situation when their children are sick? What must they do?
Usually people think the first line of treatment, maybe because the person is having fever, you give paracetamol, but it might be infection. You stay home, by the time you realize it has gotten to a secondary stage. So I always believe in seeking early treatment. That's one thing I always believed in. So I don't take it for granted. So I always urge people to also believe in that early treatment. You don't know it all.
I am not clear with your early treatment. Are you trying to say that we can set up our own hospitals in our homes? Or
No,
what do you mean
seeking
by that?
help in the hospital
Okay.
with the most qualified person.
So
In the case of pedia, like kids, you might take it for granted.
Okay.
But by the time you realize it's something else. So with children, I'll urge up. I've had experience when I went to the children's ward and I saw people who sat home for 2-3 days and their conditions were bad.
Wow.
They just come and say, it started, just 2 days ago, and I gave this and I gave that. But because you don't have the diagnostics in your house, you can't really diagnose your child very well to give the right medicine.
Okay.
So I don't advise medications in the house. I don't.
Wow. This is so revealing. If you are yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please, we'll urge you to do so. So we'll take a commercial break and we'll be back. We welcome you back to MC Online TV, and we have here our dear sister Dede. Before the break, she gave us a profile about her early beginnings, where she schooled, and what she is currently doing. We want to find out whether she has some hobbies or any lifestyle in her nurses and their work But do you have any hobbies that you engage in your free time?
Yes, in my free time, I do watch movies a lot. I sometimes read, and I don't take my sleep too for granted. I do sleep a lot too. And I do go out. I do a lot of outings too, because all work and no play makes Jack a dull person. I try to also involve myself in old school activities.
Oh,
So
right.
either my JHS, where I'm lacking is my secondary school, but my JHS and then the nursing training, and yes, I do involve myself. And then in nursing activities, like GRNMA activities, I'm always there. That's what I do most of the time in my free time.
Right, so you've heard it from her. All work and no play.
Makes Jack a
I
dull.
think you can continue for us. Thank you very much, our sister Dede. So you watch movies? Any type of movie
I like
specifically that you love?
series. So this is what I do. When a series comes out and I hear a lot of people talking about giving it that clout, then I go and watch to see what is happening there. Yes, and sometimes like Netflix, I go to Netflix recommendations and see what is happening there. Then I like series. I like romance movies. I don't like science fictions. I never understand science fictions. Yes. So that's, and then Black American movies.
Okay.
I am a Tyler Perry fan.
All right.
So his movies I'll watch all the time.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so I think we recommend you to the movie fanatics who are watching us so that you give them some nice recommendations. Thank you very much for that expose. You mentioned that you work at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, then Ridge Hospital. I think for about 17 years.
Yes, since 2006.
You've mentioned the various units and departments you work at. Will you tell us the various roles you play in that hospital?
Yes. When I was at the emergency, I was a staff nurse.
Okay.
So basically, you are managing patients. You are planning their care, implementing whatever you have planned, and you are evaluating the care. You are obeying instructions. All the assignments you have been given, you are doing it. You're always the first point of call because all the emergencies are running to the unit. So that's basically what I did at the emergency. And then at the VIP is more complex.
Okay.
Because these are people that can afford to even sue you. Those, wow. They can afford, you get ministers and things coming there. And it was a very cubicle type of nursing. So they are in their rooms. It's not the Florence Nightingale type of ward where you sit and see all the patients.
For the purpose of our viewers, if you could break down the jargon,
the Florence Nightingale type of ward is the type that you sit and you can see all your patients with a glance. Okay. Yes, the cubicle type is they are in their various rooms.
Right.
So at the nursing station, you don't see what is happening.
Oh, okay.
So continuous monitoring, going to see your patients.
There was like some CCTV camera in the room that...
No, there was nothing. So you can't just sit at the nursing station like that. You have to be visiting their rooms most of the time to see what is happening. But one thing we did too was to allow the patient relative, at least one person, to stay there to call us in case of emergency, because you might be in the West Wing and a patient in the East Wing needs you. So we allow them in so that they can call us in case of emergency. That's one challenging thing about the VIP ward those times. Okay. Yes, I remember at a point, there was a day I was alone.
On duty?
Yes, on duty. I was alone. I was there with an orderly. Oh. And a case came.
Which year is that? If you
it will be like 2008. 2008, 2009.
Why you
yes, there was staff. No, there was staff shortage actually.
As we are seeing currently.
Yes.
Okay, you can go ahead.
And I was alone on duty. I was in a patient's room. I was doing something for the patient, and a case had come for almost 30 minutes. I hadn't attended to the new case. Oh. Yes, that's how it is. And so you can imagine if something is happening to another patient in another room and you are there alone, and you're in another room. You don't even see to even tell the other patient to hold on, I'm coming. You don't even see. If you're not called, then that is it. So it was quite challenging. It puts you on your toes to be always on time, see what is happening, prioritize your cases. Which one needs you more and which one needs you less?
So while saying that, I was thinking, because I know in every shift, you have to have several mix of staffs. So why do you have
At that point,
only
at
a
that
nurse
point,
and an orderly? So where are the other staff?
no, at that point, we were running one. At that point, there was massive shortage. So we were running one.
Let me ask again. So does it commiserate with the remuneration? Do they have to top up with your payment, or is still there?
Not at all. Till date, nobody is paid extra because you did something extra. I'm yet to hear that in Ghana Health Services.
Wow.
Not at all.
That's wonderful.
Yes, not at all. But you have to do it. You have to do it without compromising standard. So you have to do it.
I think in itself it has compromised the standard because one person running the shift.
Yes.
Anyway, so that's the VIP ward. Which other
Experience.
ward?
Then I went to the children's ward.
Okay.
My favorite place.
Wow.
Seeing kids being brought in helpless, and all of a sudden they are happy talking to you, or their mothers are excited. They come in helpless and they don't even know what to do to themselves. And all of a sudden they sit down saying thank you, thank you, thank you, because they are having their children back. It's the most exciting, pediatrics is the most exciting place to work.
Yeah,
it's not a money-making unit. That unit, you don't make money there. It's not a unit where you get people say thank you with money. No, you rather use your money to take care of patients. So one thing we did there, doctors and nurses always contributing money to save patients, the children. They come in helpless. Kaya you can bring the child and drop the child to you and stand there like you. Or the Akwaranaba, Midinaba, or Yari. And she's standing there looking at you. Do your miracle. She doesn't have one CD. You do it. You have no choice. You have to do it.
Is this something that happens in all the hospitals, or because of your proximity to those people?
I think pedics in general. Pedics in general, yes.
Okay.
But our location too was part. Yes, our location was part. It was a daily occurrence.
Wow.
Yes, well, at a point, I remember a nurse told me that they did this one day. We have to stop giving a collection at the church and use it for the patient there, because it seems all the time we are doing contributions. And that's what we did. You don't have any choice. Abandoned babies. So you go home, you have a baby. You also look through, pick your kids' dresses and bring it to the baby. Oh. Yes. They don't have feed. You have to buy naan. Contribute, go and buy the naan for the baby. It has been like that. Until date, it's still like that.
So that's also the
pedics.
Which other ward again do you work at?
I'm currently in service.
Okay.
And you know, in service, we deal with students and rotation nurses a lot. It's quite challenging.
What
but
is in service, if you could?
In service training units is basically a unit set up to coordinate trainings in the various hospitals. And the trainings are mostly students and then the staff themselves. So we do students and then the staff and then the rotation nurse. So with the staff, for instance, we do their needs assessment to know their training gaps. Then we plan our training according to the gaps we've identified. And then sometimes what the hospital also feels like is a gap. So we do both sides, and then the students, rotation nurses. And then one thing too we do that when a staff does something that needs training, then we are also sent to maybe medication error. So you come back to in-service to come and learn medications, the medication administration and all its implications and everything. Then you are sent back to the ward again.
So it's like there's continuous.
There's continuous, yes. Yes, and
development
every new staff that comes will have to go through a very vigorous training, at least at the in-service unit, at least 1 week.
Okay.
Yes, you have to stay there 1 week to learn everything about the hospital, the history, the vision, the mission, the core values of Ghana Health Services, and all the code of ethics, code of conduct, patient charter, customer service. You go through before you are sent to the ward. And if you're a midwife, we send you to their section 2 for training after the in-service to go and learn how baby breathes and the first 1 minute and all those. So you learn all those things before you are sent to the ward.
Wow. I want to ask, the 1 week as the in-service training coordinator, is that the name?
Yeah.
Is the 1 week enough to train somebody
It is not
to know
enough.
all these things?
It is not enough. Actually, in the past, it used to be like 1 day, 2 days.
So this is even an improvement?
Yes, this is an improvement. Yes. And I said at least. So you can go more than. Okay. But at least you should have 1 week training before you move on. We even do equipment training. When we get new staff, we do equipment training, we do medical legal issues. We invite the HR to come and train on HR issues. The biomedical engineers also come in for the gadgets trainings. Yes, we do that.
Mentioning medical legal issues, you work at the VIP. You said those people can even
afford to see you.
They can afford to see you. Can you talk briefly about those issues? Any litigations or any medical issues that arose from your practice or you've heard about, and how you handled it or the hospital handled it?
Sometimes the medication errors.
Okay.
But so far, the one I had, it didn't cause any harm. In fact, when you talk about medication error, it's just not about giving. Sometimes you don't even give, but then you've written that you've given, which is also dangerous.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So you have to come and learn the implications of doing that. Yes, which sometimes the patients don't take it lightly when they get to know that the medications weren't saved.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes you serve the medication. They say antifa.
Wow.
Yes, but you've charted that because you're giving antifa. You have not
meaning
ensured that the patient has swallowed
the medication.
But you've given, maybe you've put it in a saucer and you've left that she should take it herself.
Wow.
By the time you realize the patient has not taken them, there's no improvement. The patient doesn't take the medications. And with nursing, you have to make sure the patient takes, you even have to talk to the patient to see that the patient has swallowed.
Okay.
So that you know that if there's no effect, then you can say that maybe you need to graduate the treatment or something. But if the patient is on a drug and then there's no effect, the patient is not taking it, it is patient.
Wow. I think this is revealing. Viewers, let me remind you again that we have our sister Dede Adamte with us, and you can continue to send us messages. We'll read them at the right time. So let me come back to you again. Working at the emergency, I think for some time past, we had this issue of no bed syndrome, which is one chronic issue that always affects our hospitals. And with Greater Accra Regional Hospital, I'm sure that issue always come up. During your time of working there, was that a challenge? And how did you manage it? If you are called upon to give some assistance in improving that situation or working around that area, how did you manage it during your time working there? And any recommendations or suggestions to?
No bed syndrome has been with us. I mean, I remember those times our OPD, we turned our OPD benches into bed.
Say that again.
We turned our OPD benches into bed.
And patients lie on the benches?
Yes. And then the wheelchair. At the end of the day, though they are getting well, they will come back and come in. They will write things about us, send us to the media. Mm-hmm. You thought you were trying to help them. You didn't want to sack them that there's no bed, so let's lie on a bench. But they are never satisfied. So it got to a point we have to write consent. There's no bed, but I'm ready to lie on the bench. I am ready to sit in a wheelchair.
Okay.
So no bed syndrome is not just about physical bed. It's more than just a physical bed. Sometimes people assume that if there's no bed, why don't you bring a bed there? Mm-hmm. But you see, the bed commiserates with the equipment, with the personnel. Do you get it? If you have a 180-bed capacity hospital, I believe your human resource should commiserate with that. So it's not just about and then your equipment you have to should also commiserate with that. So it's not just about the burden. And so I think Ghanaians should be educated about that. We need more hospitals. It's not just the bed. If it's just the bed, people can go and get bed and come and put them down. But if I have a 60-bed ward and we have 5 or 6 on duty, and you think it's just about beds, so you can go and bring 10 more beds there, you are not helping the situation. Yes.
I get it.
Yes, so it's not just about the burdens, but it comes with a whole lot of the doctors, the nurses, the X-ray, everything. Yes.
The logistics.
Exactly.
To work with.
The consumer, everything is involved when they say no bed. But it has been there. We try our best. Now in Ridge Hospital, our management have done this function. We call it functional bed practice, where wherever there is bed, the patient is sent to. So you get it. Maybe you are a surgical case, but there's a free bed at medical. Instead of saying there's no bed at surgical, which truly there's no bed at surgical, if there's a bed at medical, we'll send you there till we get a free bed at surgical. Sometimes they even stay there till they are discharged.
So it means that the health practitioners or the doctors who are responsible for those cases will
go there to go and review the case.
And I believe it's helping.
It's helping, but you know it's more work. But what can you do?
Wow.
Yes, it's helping.
I think we are getting to understand some of these things, and I believe the public who are watching us would get to understand that this is the situation that happens when we say there's no bed. It means that maybe the personnel there are not enough to cater for the patients.
No, it means there's
the
no bed.
Is not there.
It means there's no bed.
They are full.
Yes.
To capacity.
But what I'm trying to say is people think, oh, then why don't you bring a bed, come and put it there? So that the person will get. But I'm just saying that it's not just about the bed being there. But then the capacity of the hospital also commensurates with the personnel that you have, the logistics.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you very much on that. And you also said to work on this challenge, we need more hospitals.
Yes.
Don't you think rather we need to focus on population health, maybe preventive health and then promotion of proper health care instead of looking at the clinical aspect?
Yes. I don't think we've ever compromised on preventive health care. But maybe the level of education is low. So yes, we need to improve on our preventive health care. But now you realize that it's not just the malaria that are coming. How many cancers are you now getting to know? How do you prevent cancer? Already the cause is unknown. So this kind of idiopathic diseases are also on the rise. And we still need the hospitals to cater for this. Yes, exactly.
But
so
I am sure with those cancers we can prevent them, because you being the health practitioner, I believe you know, we have heard, some of us have heard the causes maybe from the food, the kind of food we eat, the water, not that galamsey is also on the right. Don't you think they are also
So these are all just predisposing factors. You can't say on authority that this is the cause of your cancer. No, they are all predisposing factors. So there are lots. Even aging is a predisposing factor.
Wow.
Yes. So there are lots. You can't say that stop this so that you don't get cancer. People get liver cancer. We all thought it has to do with alcohol, and this is somebody who has never taken alcohol before. So when they will come, they will come. There are so many predisposing factors which you can't pinpoint. That's why it's an idiopathic, it's an unknown cause.
All right. Thank you for that education. I'm sure our viewers are taking notes and they are also learning from this education. Thank you once again. Please, will you walk us through maybe some experiences you have garnered over the period, good or bad? You can share with us, if you can share with especially
my
your
journey,
practice as a nurse.
My journey in the nursing field, I have learned a lot. And one thing I've come to appreciate is having a good customer service skills. I remember one day I was pregnant with my third girl.
Okay.
And I had the urge. To eat a specific meat pie. So I sent somebody with my car to go and buy that meat pie for me. And somebody else alerted me that the person I had sent to buy the thing for me might not know how to drive very well. So I got alarmed. I was calling him, I wasn't even getting him. Later, a strange number called me and said, "Sister, calm down. Everything is fine. He crashed my car, but calm down. If you can come around, come."
Oh.
So at the end of the day, where I couldn't walk to go and buy the meat pie, I had to go. And when the lady saw me, she said, "Hey, madam, this one dear, I'll fix my own car. Don't you know me?" I said, "No." I said, "Oh, you took good care of me." Oh. "Yes, you don't remember? Oh, sister, please." And this is a Tuareg, those times. Auntie, how can I fix a Tuareg? Mm-hmm. But because perhaps I was good towards the person. Yes. And that's how it saved me. So what I've grown to, the best experience in the profession is to have a good customer service. Yeah. Yes, and that's what I can talk about. Because I always say that technical skills, and when it comes to technical skills of our profession, Ghanaian nurses, we don't lack. Mm-hmm. We don't lack when it comes to technical skills. It is the attitude. The attitude. And who says this is quality? It's the patient that says it is quality, not you. So what the patient will say is quality is quality. So if you give the injection at the right point, but you didn't smile towards the patient, you were rude towards the patient will say the nurse, no. That's what at the end of the day, I'm a man of quality care. You didn't give quality care. That's what they see as quality. No. Until the person gets an abscess, then they don't care about the technical skills. All that they know is that when you came, this nurse was smiling. She's a good nurse. Hey, the nurse is, that's all.
That being said, these days we hear about nurses, you go to the hospital, they are on their phones doing TikTok and other, fidgeting with their phones.
Yes.
Is that the case?
Yes. I will not shield any about that, because if you're on TikTok, I am on TikTok, so I watch TikTok a lot, and it's quite embarrassing seeing nurses in uniform. You see, you can be on TikTok. Don't associate anything nursing on TikTok if you know you can't give good education to the public. But you see them in uniform, twerking. Mm-hmm. And so it is easier in Ghana now for people to associate sex with nurses. Stereotype. Yes, sex stereotype. If you're on social media and people talk about people who know good sex styles, oh, nurses. You see a nurse on TikTok saying, "We know how to snatch people's husbands. If a nurse snatches your husband, then you are done." Is that all about nursing? They don't understand that when you wear the uniform, that is the image of nursing you're portraying outside. Is that what you want Ghanaians to see? As I said, who says this is quality? If the patients and the public says that by virtue of what you are doing, you are not giving quality care, that's what they have said. That is it.
So please, let me find out. So if a nurse is on TikTok saying things like that, is there no way he or she can be brought to book?
There are ways.
Are there no regulation towards such practices?
There are ways. You see, one thing Ghanaians, we fail to realize is that moral principles are culture specific, okay, are country specific, are tribe specific. So they assume that because this one can do it, I can also do it. Okay. Our culture is different from the UK culture, and it's different from the US culture. You don't import their culture and come and impose it on us and tell me that because a US person is doing it, a Ghanaian can also do it. You see, so you see, when you look at our code of conduct, if you read the Ghana Health Service Code of Conduct, they will write that, and any other thing that has not been expressly stated here, but can be termed as misconduct is misconduct. And moral principles, we don't say it. There are so many things you and I know. Growing up, it's not written anywhere. So as part of my trainings, I asked them, you are here. Can you kiss somebody on the ward? They will say no. Can you have sex with somebody on the ward? They say no. I said, is it written anywhere? They will say no. I said, yes. These are moral principles. There are certain things that are not written, but you and I know they are wrong. So you can base on that and use it to correct such nurses. We have done so at Ridge Hospital. Some who didn't know and used it on TikTok, we made them prepare presentation themselves about the image of nursing. After the presentation, they understood. They said, oh, sister, we'll be ambassadors. We'll teach others about it. Because surfing through the internet, and you see all these things, and you see about the image of nursing, you will think twice before you stand on the internet to misbehave.
Thank you very much, Madam Adamte. I want to find out from you, what inspires you and spurs you on? You have worked for almost 2 decades, right? What has been the motivating factor?
I think I'm self-motivated. It's inner. I was at a secondary school when I picked my form for nursing training. You know, some people will finish school, not get the university and everything before they go to the nursing training. I am not like that. I picked it whilst at the secondary school, whilst completing. I picked, so I'm one of the people who continued. I didn't stay home.
Okay.
Yes, because I really wanted the profession. So I'm self-motivated. No, nothing is motivating me. I'm self-motivated.
Self-motivation. So that's what has kept you in
What
Ghana
has kept
for
me
over
exactly
20 years and over. I think the current trend in Ghana is people writing IELTS, other exams, going to the UK, the US, Canada, and the rest. Why didn't you also take that route? And what do you think is spurring those people to move to those developed countries?
Okay, so I believed I could make it in Ghana too.
Oh, okay.
I believed it. I mean, at a point when nurses were going, the early 2000s, when I was in school, you could hear just after 9 shift, she's at the airport. Just after afternoon shift, those times they close shift and go to the airport. So you didn't even know. Yes. And then I remember the then government brought in this car waiver, this housing deal with Blue Rose, and then Kuntun said there was for nurses to afford those things. So at a point I believed we can also live better here if we get this. And remember, if you could remember, they changed our salary structure from the Ghana Universal Salary Structure to the Health Services Salary Structure before it came to and we saw some massive improvements. So at that point, I believed things will be better. But also, the reason why people are writing this out, and it's an avenue for money making. Some people intentionally send their children to the nursing training with the aim of Japan. They have to leave the country. Yes.
I love the term Japan.
Yes, they have to Japan. That's the aim. I speak with my students a lot, and they will tell you, my father said I should be a nurse. He's in the US. When I finish, I'll go. So the essence is not to be a nurse to stay in Ghana. So when they finish, they will go. But then also, the salary is woefully inadequate. Woefully. All the types of diseases we have in the world is at the hospital. You come and work here. The risk involved, you get it. Running helter-skelter for... I remember I fell down one day trying to get oxygen for a patient. I was moving from my ward to another ward to go and get oxygen cylinder. I fell flat. Who cares for the carer? And you know that in today's Ghana, if a nurse is sick, you have to take care of yourself and go for a
really?
50% refund. Yes. So there are certain hospitals that have tried to do their best for their staff. An example is my hospital. If you come on admission and you are in the system, you get your things. I mean, unless the drug is not available in which hospital, you go out, go and buy it before you get your 50%. But there are some hospitals that go strictly to what government says. For if you're in that hospital, you have to pay your own bills and then go for 50%. When they go to UK NHS, they get an insurance and then they are taken care of. Why wouldn't they go there? So the motivation factor, if you are not self-motivated, and also it doesn't mean that somebody who is outside doesn't mean they are not self-motivated.
Okay.
But for career progression too, for family settlement,
Okay.
if your husband is there, you have to go. And then some people believe that they'll get their progression in a career there than here. With all the steady leave issues that we have in this country and everything, they believe that when they go there, it's better for them. So it's a multi-factor issues. I mean,
Multi-factor issues. Thank you. With the salary, why is it so? Who is responsible for that, and they are not doing it for you?
I can't say they are not doing it for us.
Oh.
They are trying their best. GRNMA negotiates nurses' salary. But remember, the negotiation table is not a joke. You put your point down. The other opponent also put, I won't say their opponent, but their employer. They also put their points.
Opponent. I think
Their
that's
opponent.
right. Yeah, because you are employee, they are employer.
Yes.
So
They also have a cut-off point they can meet. You also have to bring yours, and it has not been easy. And I think one of our challenge too is the numbers. You know, I don't want to talk for Ghana government, but we are a lower middle income country, so the money is not much. But the number of nurses that you are training, are you sure you are able to take them? The numbers, so the listing your number. The listing your number.
So is it not in the right direction that after school they also decide to go out?
Yes, as I said, it's more, if I am here and I'm not getting a job to do, won't I go? And today nobody is bonded. Today no bonding. You are giving allowance, it is free. So after your national service, you are free to leave. Unlike my time, you sign bond, 3 copies, send it everywhere. And then you have to work for the government before, else you have to pay your money in. Today is free.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think I have my last question for you. During your statement of your hobbies, you mentioned that one of the hobbies you do is to engage in GRNMA activities, and I think you just mentioned about GRNMA negotiating your salaries for you. What is GRNMA and what do you do?
GRNMA is a Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association.
Okay.
It's a mother association of all nurses and midwives in Ghana. If you are not one, then please, you better join. I am a district secretary at the Koliklote, Osu.
Okay.
Yes. That's basically what I do. So.
Oh, that's so
For
simple.
GRNMA, yes.
I thought you would tell us more.
Oh, and sometimes maybe I'm part of the national committee for the planning of the national awards.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow.
But apart from that, any activity of GRNMA, I want to be there.
As you are here today.
Yes.
That's beautiful. That's revealing. That's a wonderful time with our sister Dede from the Ghana. Why do I keep on
Greater
saying
Accra
Ghana?
Regional
Greater
Hospital.
Accra Regional
RAGE.
Hospital. RAGE. Viewers, we've come to the end of today's session, and we thank you very much for participating. Although we couldn't read your messages, but in the next session, we'll do justice to that. We once again urge all of you viewers to subscribe to our YouTube channel, MC Online TV, and follow us on all our social media handles, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you very much, Sister Dede, once again.
Thank you for having me.
And we also appreciate or acknowledge our media team